Hello and welcome to another episode of UTour. Today we are reaching you from the New Savannah region. We are visiting the monumental Larabanga Mosque. Did you know that the Larabanga Mosque is the oldest mosque in Ghana and one of the oldest in West Africa? Abdul, so I know that I'm at the Larabanga Mosque. This is a very famous place. So tell me everything I need to know about this mosque. When it was built, everything.
Well, you're most welcome to Larabanga.
Thank you.
Yeah, actually, when you are in Larabanga, you feel at home and then be at home. Because Larabanga is a home for visitors. I'm actually here to brief you about the mosque and then a little bit about Larabanga.
Okay.
Yeah, the mosque here is the oldest mosque in Ghana and happens to be one of the oldest in West Africa. The record of this building was somewhere 1421. The founder of Larabanga, he migrated from Saudi Arabia in a town called Medina. And he was also chosen as a spiritual consultant to a warrior man known as Smaila Ndi Urujekwa. Smaila Ndi Urujekwa, he was a great warrior. He was fighting a lot of wars. And his aim at that time was to get a big land for his people to settle. He fought to somewhere he could no more conquer some other ethnic groups. So therefore, he needs somebody who pray for him. That is where one of his followers advised him to go back to the southern part of Medina. When the warrior man went back there, luckily enough, he met the founder of Larabanga community called Idana Ibrahim. He explained the difficulty facing on the way. The founder of Larabanga told the warrior man that, well, he's a pious Muslim. The only thing he would do to help him was to pray for him anytime he faced any difficulties. But sorry, as a pious Muslim, he need not to use gun or knife to kill anybody. And before they could also took off from Saudi Arabia, the founder of Larabanga told the warrior man that they went on their way. There are some rivers for them to cross. When they get to the third river, they shouldn't cross it. They use that river as their permanent settlement. After taking off from Saudi Arabia, the first river they crossed was the Red Sea. It was found in between Saudi Arabia and Sudan. After crossing it to Sudan, they decided to spend some time there. And they fought through Mali, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Niger. And there wasn't any river for them to cross again until they got into Ghana here. And the second river they crossed in Ghana was the White Volta. That is in a town called Yapi. From the White Volta, they fought alongside to cross the Black Volta at Bupi. That was where the warrior man could not survive, leaving the founder of Larabanga community. He also taught it otherwise that, as a pious Muslim, he need not to settle at where his best friend was being killed or where the land has already been polluted with blood. And for that matter, he was also searching for a virgin land to stay. And the first settlement the founder of Larabanga was happening to stay here is where we have the Mystic Stone. Okay. That is half kilometer away from the community here. He was there making all his prayers, but having the mind and the intention of building something like accommodation or a place of worship. But when you get to the site of the Mystic Stone, the land there is not stable like this geographically. Okay. And something like this mosque could not be put up there at that time. But then he was also working with a spear. He promised that he's going to throw the spear. Wherever it has got landed will be his final settlement. So he stood on the Mystic Stone, that he threw the spear highly to the sky. The next day when he traced it up, the spear was found in this black portion you can see. That is the foundation, which was naturally there. But there was nothing to indicate or show that people settled here before. When he was going around his spiritual affairs, there was a booklet found, written in Arabic form. He took it, he read it, and it was telling him that is where God has chosen for him to settle. And the structure he continued from the black portion was naturally there. That is the foundation. Okay. So he started building it from that point in such a way that anytime he builds to a level and he became tired, he will fix a stick to know the level he got to. But the next day he will come and continue the building. The mosque increases spiritually. Wow. Exactly. Until it was fully completed. And after it was being completed, there was only one door to the mosque called the Chief Imam door. And when the community became a little bit developed, they opened traditional doors, making 4. And each door to the mosque played a function. After the Chief Imam door, the second door was the Muezzin door, the one who sat for prayer when it is time. And the third door was the ladies' door, and the final door and the main door was the main door. And there's also a tree supporting the building. There's a baobab tree. Yeah, also signify where they buried the founder of the community. Okay. Yeah, actually, when he was very old, he summoned the people together. Then he gave them a promise that anytime he dies, he wants to be buried somewhere close to his building. Anytime they see any vegetable tree that germinate on the grave, they surrogate it. And actually, when he dies, he was buried underneath of the tree. So a couple of months later, the tree stood up on the grave. So the few followers are that they took good care of the tree. And the tree is about 500 years old now.
500?
Exactly. Every year when the tree produces more leaves, the community comes together. We have 12 clans in the community. The clans will come together to harvest the leaves of the tree. Each clan will go to their various clans to prepare a large number of soup so that each person will taste this soup.
So you eat it?
Exactly, as a blessing from the founder, but we eat it yearly.
Okay. So which month of the year do you do this?
Which month? We have a festival in the community called the Fire Festival. Okay. That is the year, that is the month we do it. Yeah, that's the Bogun Festival. Okay. Exactly.
Right. So which area is this?
Yeah, this is Larabanga.
The community is called?
Larabanga. Okay. And the area in which the mosque is found is called Yirpani. Okay. Yirpan means that is the spear.
Okay. What's the name of the founder of the community?
The founder name is Yidana Ibrahim. Okay. Yeah, the Yidana means landlord.
So how often do you have people coming to visit?
Oh, more often people have been coming here. And sometimes too, there are no more people due to seasonal changes. Okay. Yeah.
Do you have to pay money to come here?
Yeah, most of the time, they maintain the building. It's built with mud, sand, and clay. And the founder also used the Sudanese architecture to build the mosque. Every year they expect some damages. And what people pay in the office is what they use to maintain the building.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is this still being used or is just a tourist attraction?
Yeah, it's still being used. 5 times daily, but on Friday, the community someone here for congregational prayers.
Okay. All right. So can we go closer to the baobab tree?
Yeah, why not? We can go closer.
Right, so that is the baobab tree, I believe.
Exactly, that is a baobab tree.
And you said this tree is how many years old?
It's about 500 years now. Yeah.
So it's never been cut down to regrow or anything?
What they do is, sometimes the branches do grow longer, and they have to cut the branches down. But the tree itself never has been cut down.
And this is 500 years old?
Exactly.
Wow. And we have the founder of the community here.
Yeah, he was buried under the tree because he gave the promise that when he dies, he should be buried close to his building. But he also gave a warning that after his death or after the burial, there will be a kind of vegetable tree that will come out on the grave. So when he dies, he was buried under the tree, and some months later, the tree stood up on the grave.
So you were telling me that when he was building the mosque, he was putting stakes in there to mark where he was.
Exactly.
So these are those stakes?
These are the stakes. And at the same time, during the olden days, when there was no something of iron rocks, he thought otherwise of putting these stakes to serve as iron rocks in order to keep the mud sand stick together and then firm.
But I can see that the stake is coming out. It looks a bit loose and it looks like some part is even rotten. It can come up. Has this always been the stake that was used since the building of the mosque?
No, please. The outside, we can still get the original stakes inside. But the outside one, because of rain and sunlight and other things, some of them got rotten. We have to pull them out. Then they have to get a special tree. They will cut and come and fix it back. Then they have to plaster it in again.
Okay. So when visitors come, do you take them inside?
No, please. But the only people who goes inside, that if only they are Muslims, they want to come and observe prayers and it is time for prayers, that they goes inside.
Okay, so if you are a non-Muslim, you cannot enter the mosque?
Yes, please.
Is it with every mosque or is just this mosque?
Well, we've never been to any mosque, but this particular one, that is what the people of the community decided to take on this mosque.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there anything that we can also see around the mosque?
Yeah, I can show you the other doors, then maybe you can also see different things altogether.
Let's go. people inside?
Yeah, sometimes people comes in there if they have any recitation in the Quran. They comes in there to have a relaxing day. Then they will be reciting the Quran.
Okay. So how many people can the mosque take at a time?
Actually, we believe it can take up to 100 people.
100?
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. So can we just take a look inside?
Yeah. But this door where we are now is the ladies' entrance.
Oh, okay. So I'm at the right place.
You are at the right place. Though we just go in a little bit, then you can see how the inside is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do I have to do? I can just go?
No, please. You have to remove your sandals, then we can walk inside.
Okay.
Before you go inside, there's a need for you to say Salam Alaikum.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I say it?
Yeah.
Okay. Salam Alaikum. Alright, so I am so privileged to be inside the Larabanga Mosque, and I'm here with Abdul. Abdul, so you are telling me that this building is almost 600 years old?
Yeah, exactly. It's somewhere 1421. And 1421 is an assumption. That is the record. We believe the record. During the time of the transatlantic slave trade, that was when they discovered this building. Yeah, but either than that, we believe the age is more than 1421.
Right, and so I can see the materials that were used to build this. Really ancient stuff, trees, and you said there is what, sand and what?
It's mud, sand, and clay. They mix together, and then they will mix honey, then cow dung. That will stick it together.
Honey and cow dung.
Exactly. They believe mixing them together will stick the mud to be very strong.
But I can see that there are fans and lights here. But I must say that it is very cool in here.
Yeah, we believe the mud sand. One funny thing about mud building is it varies ventilation. At daytime when the outside is hot, when you come inside, it's very cool for you to stay. Okay. But now you can't stay inside because it absorbs the heat and it evaporates it at night. So at night it's very warm, you can't be inside. Oh. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm so excited to be inside here, because it's very historic for me.
Exactly. Thank you. You're welcome.
All right. Thank you very much. So can we see the other doors, or how do you call it, door or gate?
It's doors, not gate.
All right, so let's go see the other doors. So this is the ladies' door. So I came through the right place. It has 4 doors, as mentioned already by Abdul. And this very door is the ladies' door. So we are going to check the other doors. Abdul, let's go.
You're welcome.
Which door is this?
Yeah, this is the muezzin door, the one who shouts for prayers when it is time.
The one who does Allah, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Do that thing for me. I really like that.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Right? Great.
Yeah,
okay, so let's check the other doors. Which door is this?
This is the chief imam door. Okay. Yeah, the person who late for prayers.
Okay, so this is the final door. And which door is this?
That's the main door. And then we also believe it is the main door to the mosque.
Okay, main door meaning anybody can use this door?
Not anybody, but we believe this is the main door for the men. Men normally, generally, they are always many in the mosque than any other person. Yeah.
All right, okay. So this is the famous Larabanga Mosque, and this is Abdul, my tour guide. I've learned so much. This mosque is almost 600 years old, and everything you see here was originally done, well, except a few of the stakes, that became so weak and had to be changed. But the whole building is almost 600 years old. And interesting architecture. So where is the inspiration of the architecture from?
Sudan.
Okay, all right, okay. So you see it's very unique and it is very old. It is the oldest mosque in Ghana and one of the oldest in West Africa. So let's still go.
I also believe in the whole Ghana, is Larabanga, you can find 100% Muslims.
Really?
Everybody is a Muslim? Everybody is a Muslim in the community here.
Nobody goes to church?
Nobody goes to church. There's not a church here.
There's no church in Larabanga?
Exactly.
Okay, how many people are in Larabanga? Do you have an idea?
Yeah, up to 4,000 people living here.
Wow, and everybody is a Muslim.
Exactly.
Allah is very proud of you guys. So just like any other region in Ghana, the Savannah region is also blessed with so many tourist sites. And so from the Larabanga Mosque, we also visited the Mystic Stone. Mystic Stone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so can we go down? All right, so this is the Mystic Stone. Remember when Abdul was talking to us about the mosque, he mentioned the Mystic Stone. So he's really going to tell us the story about the Mystic Stone. This is still Larabanga. Okay, this is interesting. Can it fall?
No, it can. It never falls.
Okay, so give us a story about this stone.
Yeah, now we are at different area, so I have to use the chance of welcoming you to the site of the Mystic Stone.
Thank you.
Yeah, actually, this is the Mystic Stone of the community. Yeah, we believe the founder of the community, the one who built the mosque up there, this was where he first settled until he thought of building the mosque. And looking at the geographical nature of here, he couldn't have built it here. Then he moved up there by a spiritual truth of the spear. Then it landed in the foundation there. Yeah, actually, before it was been discovered as the Mystic Stone, it was during the time of the transatlantic slave trade. So when they were buying slaves from communities to communities, and then they always wants to make sure they have a chance of going to the slave market at Salga. It was when they got to this site when they were to construct the road. So they surveyed that the road could have been straight to the community. But when they came, they met this stone. It was on top of a tiny clay, not this one we are seeing now.
Okay.
It was on top of a tiny clay. Those contractors decided to move the stone away. But the next day they will come and continue their work. The stone was back again. Yeah.
Is this a story or is real?
Israel. So when it came back again, those contractors left and other contractors also came. When they came, they were able to move this stone in a very far distance. Those people, it disturbed them in a way they couldn't handle it. Then they thought otherwise of consulting the local people. When they moved up there, they met the people and they told them the story, the problem they're actually facing around this site. This particular site, it is a place for worship. Actually, when the founder of the community who first came, he was settled here. And then he prayed against all kind of evil things. And he also prayed against ethnic wars. And when we also grew up, what we believe is that a horse can never cross from this direction to the community. because during the olden days they were using horses to fight wars. He prayed against all those kind of evil things. And during those days too, there were several lot of accidents happening here. What we normally sustained during that time was injuries. We never accounted any death or something like that. And then when we also grew up, the horse which was crossing from this area to the community, it stopped over there, and then the owner of the horse couldn't understand. Then he moved up there to consult the people. They told him that this was what the community base working on, and for that matter, the owner of the horse have to move it from somewhere to different place. Yeah.
But what was the horse supposed to do? Was it evil? Was the owner evil?
No one was evil. But because the founder prayed against all those things, that because during the olden days, it was horses they used to fight ethnic wars. So he prayed against all those kind of things. And then any horse who is coming from this direction will never come into the community.
Right. So did the founder use the stone for anything?
Well, he was using it for his prayers. Yeah, he was praying on top of this stone, and he was making all sort of prayers here. But what he was not doing is, this particular stone, it is not a shrine where people come to pour libation or where they slaughter things here. We only believe that here or this side, it is a holy place where people also comes to make their prayers, and after the prayer, they sometimes comes to satisfy that what they came and make for has been accepted.
Okay. All right. So who created the wall around it?
Yeah, it was created somewhere 2010 by the people taking care of the stone.
All right. Wow. So interesting story. So can I also say a prayer here? If I have any request, can I say it?
Yeah, you're fully welcome to do that.
Even though I'm not a Muslim. Okay. Let's go. So who takes care of this place? Who is in charge? Is it the government or the community?
Actually, in the local community here, we have landowners. In every year, people who make sure they do all sort of prayers, before any activities of the community would carry on. They are the people taking care of this site.
Right. So what's the main occupation of the people of Larabanga?
Farming and hunting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, so I can see that you guys have good roads and the place is well put together. Do you have any issues? I don't really see much. What are the challenges in this community?
Yeah, we have several lot of challenges, especially education sector. They are simple because you can imagine the community is almost 4,000 to 5,000 people living here. And we only have 2 primary schools, basic school. Yeah, and we also have 1 junior high school. Yeah, which find it difficult for the people to go to school. And most of the time, the people around here are not all that serious to go to school. And most of them wants to be hunters. They are going to the bush for hunting and all sort of things. And the people, just a few people who are serious, they wants to go to school, and they always made it to wherever they wants to go.
All right. Now I know that Larabanga is very close to the Mole National Park, and I don't see any boundaries. Do you have any issues with the animals, or do you guys poach the animals?
Actually, I must tell you the fact. Larabanga is a gateway to Mole. Before any visitor who goes to Mole have to stop over in Larabanga before moving up 6 kilometers ahead. But the people here sometimes go illegal hunting.
In the reserve?
Exactly. They do illegal hunting, but not much of the people. Some of them. And there are causes on issues like this. When you are caught in the reserve, you'll be sent to jail. And
but are the people aware?
Yeah, Molly?
Yeah, no, I mean the locals, the residents of Larabanga, are they aware that when they are caught, they'll be...
Exactly, they are aware. You know, the land of Mole first was owned by the people here. And since they took away the land and there was no support coming to the people, sometimes they don't bother whether they go they go over there to hunt and they are caught. So, and then the main occupation of the community here is farming and hunting. They believe they can only survive through hunting, or they can only survive through farming, and they are doing both together. So they don't care whether when they go in there to poach, then they have been caught. Some of them don't care, and others also care about it.
Okay, but you don't have the animals coming out into the community?
Yeah, some of the animals do come. Yeah, some of the elephants, when they lost the way, they can come into the community. And when they come like that, the people of Mole, they have to call them, and they will come and redirect them back to the reserve.
But that is scary for you to wake up and you find an elephant in your community. So when an elephant, have you ever seen an elephant coming out before?
Yeah, but the only thing is, when the elephant had the one sort of a gun, it start to move away. So they will come in front of the elephant and they have to give a warning shot, then it start to go back.
Right. When they come, do they cause any damage, or what happens? I want you to describe, for instance, if an elephant walks into Larabanga, how would the place be like?
Yeah, they've never caused any damage in the community yet, no.
Not even on the farms?
But the farms, a lot of damages. Elephants goes to people's farm to destroy their crops. You imagine that you can see a single elephant that goes to someone's farm and destroy up to 4 acres a day.
A day?
A day.
Wow.
Yeah, and it will never stop there. The next day it's going back there again because it think there's many food there. But the only thing the people of the community is, when a person or a farm owner happens to go to the farm and his crops have been destroyed by the elephants or the wild animals, what they do is at night the person will never sleep. All the person will do is every night he has to go to the farm in order to take care of his farm. And when there are these elephants coming there and he gave a warning shot or he shoot on them, they start to go back.
All right. So do you have any compensation coming from the Forestry Commission or from government when people's farms are destroyed?
Well, there's no any compensation coming from the park, because I think the park was established somewhere in 1958. Yeah, purposely to drive away tortoise flies, and until it became a national park somewhere in 1971. And anytime the community here send report to the park, what they tell us is wildlife has no policy in compensating farmers, and for that matter, they have nothing to do about it.
So the people of Larabanga are appealing to the government to support them boost tourism in this side of the country to help generate jobs for its youth. And to you out there, anytime you find yourself in the new Savannah region, don't forget to visit the Larabanga Mosque and the Mystic Stone. This has been UTour on Citi TV. My name is Frema.